By the end of this session, you'll have a clear understanding of what outcomes-based contracting means, if you do not already, and how it has advantages for students, school systems, and tutoring providers. All right, here is our agenda for today. We'll begin by introducing our tutoring team, then we'll provide an overview of outcomes-based contracting, look at 2 case studies where OBC has been implemented successfully, and look at the steps involved in engaging in OBC. To introduce myself, I'm Glenn Colvin, Chief of Staff for the Division of Literacy, and we have our tutoring team here today, and I'll give them an opportunity to introduce themselves at this time.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our OBC webinar overview. I believe I know most of you, so it's nice to see all of your names popping up as participants today. I think most of you know that I oversee the tutoring programs here at the department and always happy to help however I can. So most of you know how to reach me after with any questions, comments, or concerns, and you'll also have our email addresses at the end. So thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is April Smith. I also recognize some of those names coming up. Just a new support to Holly here on the tutoring team and happy to help as well. Any questions that you send to the tutoring inbox, I'll be there to help.
All right, thank you, Holly and April. So let's get started with our overview. All right, outcomes-based contracting, or OBC, is a procurement strategy that shifts the focus from inputs like the number of hours delivered to actual outputs, such as student growth. Under this model, a portion of the vendor's compensation is directly tied to achieving predetermined outcomes. The contract is typically split into 2 parts: a base payment, which ensures stability, and an outcome-based payment, which rewards student achievement. Base payments are typically less than 60% of the total contract value, and the outcome-based payment typically is around 40% of the contract value. These are typical, but may vary depending on agreements reached between the school systems and their tutoring providers. It's important to note that outcomes-based payment values are capped to ensure the contract remains within an agreed-upon budget. In OBC, both school systems and vendors agree to clear provisions. Schools must ensure tutoring sessions are scheduled and students are present, while vendors commit to delivering high-quality instruction and supporting students in meeting growth targets. First, let's look at some of the benefits of OBC from the school system point of view. Ultimately, OBC is about improving student learning. First, it ensures tutoring is measured by results, not just hours. Second, it incentivizes vendors to bring their best tutors and instructional materials, raising the quality of support students receive. Third, the model uses data to help providers adjust quickly and continuously improve. It also directs resources to the students who need them most, which helps close achievement gaps. And finally, it ensures that the public investment in tutoring translates into stronger literacy and math outcomes. All right, this approach also creates real benefits for vendors. First, strong student performance leads to higher financial rewards and growth opportunities. Second, demonstrated success builds credibility and reputation with school systems and the state, giving you a competitive edge in securing future contracts. By aligning more closely with state and district goals, vendors build stronger long-term partnerships. Finally, the data generated through OBC provides powerful proof of impact, which can support expansion and funding opportunities beyond this program. All right, to see how OBC works in practice, let's look at 2 case studies. One from Denver Public Schools and one from Ector County ISD in Texas. In Denver public schools, more than 1,000 qualifying students were served in math tutoring. In this case, more than half the contract value was contingent on student outcomes. You can see here the pricing structure and metrics that were used in that case. Here you can see additional details from the Denver case study. As you can see, the tutoring parameters are not dissimilar to Louisiana's own HDT requirements. The results in Denver public schools showed significant growth and improved student confidence in math. In a second case study from Ector County, Texas, over 5,000 third through eighth grade students were served in ELA and math. In this case, 20% of vendor compensation was tied to growth on the NWEA assessment. The results in Ector County ISD showed that about half of the participating students achieved strong growth, leading the district to expand OBC into other areas. These examples show that OBC can be implemented in different ways, but the core idea is the same. Tying payment to outcomes improves results. All right, we'll now move into what steps are involved in OBC implementation and examine a sample rate card. Okay, for school systems, engaging in OBC requires 4 major steps. First, creating a framework by identifying student metrics and school system goals. Activities would include confirming vendor participation, creating an OBC design framework, and identifying the students included in and the desired outcome. The second step is constructing a pricing strategy that balances incentives with realistic expectations. This includes developing a rate card, an example of which we will examine momentarily. Third, renegotiating contracts between tutoring providers and school systems, ensuring outcomes and data requirements are clear. Finally, collaborating throughout implementation to monitor progress and make continuous improvements. This process ensures that all parties are aligned and that the model is both effective and sustainable. All right, one of the tools we'll use, as mentioned previously, is a rate card. Rate cards are negotiated between the school system and the vendor and are used to clearly outline the responsibilities related to the OBC. As we look more closely at this example rate card, it's important to note that the outcomes listed here are based on case studies in other systems, and systems may opt to focus on different outcomes. All right, so looking more closely at this example rate card, you can see that it provides a clear breakdown of how the compensation is structured, including the student population being served, per student cost, and overall payment caps. The rate card also separates out achievement metrics and specifies what portion of payments are tied to base versus outcome performance. This transparency helps vendors and the school system plan effectively and understand exactly how payments connect to student results. Notes are included to define contingencies. All right, you can see here how the rate card clearly designates the outcome and base payments. This transparency helps vendors and school systems plan effectively and understand exactly how payments connect to student results. Again, I'd like to reiterate that the specific outcomes, metrics, payment amounts, and percentages listed here are simply examples. These are negotiated between the school system and the vendor and should be based on the system's specific needs and circumstances. All right, and just know that For school systems that decide to move forward with this process and are awarded funding to extend tutoring with an external tutoring provider, our team is going to be here to assist throughout the process. That includes both the school systems and the tutoring providers. We'll close by explaining the next steps for those tutoring providers who have an interest in OBC for high dosage tutoring. All right, and once again, to reiterate, OBC is only applicable to external tutoring providers already contracting with the school system for the purpose of providing an additional 10-week cycle of tutoring. If your company is interested in participating in outcomes-based contracting for high-dosage tutoring, we ask that you please complete the interest form linked here and accessible through the QR code by October the 10th. Note that this form is only intended to capture interest and does not serve as an official sign-up or commitment to participate. Where funds are ultimately awarded for an OBC to systems, we will be working closely, like I said, with school systems and the tutoring providers to assist a smooth and effective process. You may reach out to tutoring@la.gov with questions. This is a unique opportunity to shape the future of tutoring in Louisiana, and we look forward to partnering with our school systems and tutoring providers who want to be a part of this work. Thank you again for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. There are a few questions in the chat.